Hello, my name is Professor Robert, and in our today's lesson 8, we will learn about properties of real numbers. And specifically, we'll look at the distributive property and double the double negative rule. All right, these properties are essential for simplifying algebraic expressions. Now let's start off with the distributive property. The distributive property helps us multiply across parentheses. For example, if we had a number or letter A being multiplied by another letter B plus another letter C, this distributive property will help us to multiply across the parentheses or the brackets. So this will become A times B, which is AB, plus A times C, which is AC. Now, the same works when we have a negative sign within the parentheses. That's if we had A into B minus C, this would be the same as saying A times B, which is AB, minus A times C, which is AC. Now, let's look at an exact example. Let's supposing we're given 3 into 2 plus 5. This will be 3 times 2 plus 3 times 5. So this will be 6 plus 21 and the 15, which will end up giving us 21. And again, as I said, if we had a negative a sign in our parentheses, if we had a negative sign parenthesis, still it would work out similarly. So if we had 4 into 10 minus 3, this would be the same as saying 4 times 10 minus 4 times 3, which would give us 40 minus 12 to finally give us our final answer as 28. Now, the distributive property works even with more than 2 terms. For example, if we had an example like 2, 1 plus 3 plus 4, 2 will multiply through the parentheses. So this will be 2 times 1 plus 2 times 3 plus 2 times 4. This one in the end will give us 2 plus 6 plus 8, which will give us 16 as our final answer. Now let's look at the double negative rule. Now, a double negative turns into a positive. For example, if you are given a number like negative A and it's negated, this one gives us A as our answer. So if we are multiplying, say, negative A by negative b, a negative times a negative will give us a positive. And of course, a times b will be ab. However, it is important to note that we usually don't put a positive sign before a number if it's not a negative. It's always assumed. So this positive sign is normally excluded. So if we had a number like negative 3 times negative 4, this would be negative times a negative is positive, but of course we don't write it. And then 3 times 4 is 12. So that one would be our answer. So a negative number multiplied by a negative number will always give us a positive answer. Now, let's look at division. Negative 3, say, being divided by negative 3. Again, a negative number divided by a negative number will always give you a positive, answer. So we say 3 divided by 3 is 1, and negative divided by negative is positive. So we get positive 1. And as I said, you don't need to mention it. You just need to write 1. And there you have it. Now, it's also important to note that a negative number, negative 3 for example, multiplied by a positive number, the answer will always be negative. So a negative multiplied by a positive will always give us a negative. And the same is true. A negative number divided by a positive number, the answer will always be a negative answer. Of course, as long as the denominator value is not 0. This is 1. And likewise, a positive number divided by a negative number will always give us a negative answer. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and positive divided by negative will always give us a negative answer. Alright, if you master these, then algebra will become much easier for you, no doubt. Okay, if this lesson helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Thank you for learning with me today, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.